Hi, my name is Vincent Simoni, and welcome to today's program. You will never hit a one-handed backhand how you want if you don't have a system for this shot. In modern tennis, having a one-handed backhand can be a complete burden. And out of everybody on the court who used to avoid their backhand, I was the most notorious. Okay, I would be all the way on the singles sideline on the backhand side, hitting a forehand to avoid the elephant in the room. But today, I'm going to show you how to modernize your one-handed backhand using the system that I used to become way more productive on this shot. And let's begin. So the first step that you're going to take is reduce the range of motion. And what we're going to do is get a solid unit turn and set up the conditions with our body so that we can get the same consistent results every single time. And it will be essentially impossible not to hit a good one-handed backhand. So let me show you how you should be setting up. From a good established ready position, our elbows should be up and away from our body, and we should be able to shoot a basketball in this space. Now, with our non-dominant arm, we've got our hand on the throat of the racket. And as we make a unit turn with our body, we're going to make a grip change with the racket. A lot of people don't take this very important step, and what they'll do is they'll just pull the arms back and set themselves up for failure before the ball has even bounced on their side. So what you want to do is make sure that the butt of the racket is in line with your belly button, okay? We're going to draw an imaginary line, which needs to be maintained all the way up until we're about to hit the ball. So what we need to do is get an amazing shoulder turn. And we're going to do this by leaving the racket alone, just changing the grip with our non-dominant arm, okay? And what we've done is we've kept our left elbow in the same position that it was in the ready position, so we don't have to worry about moving it. And it's in a 90-degree angle, but watch what happens if this drops ever so slightly. The racket face opens, and this is going to lead us to an issue where a lot of people, they hit a backhand that floats up in the air, or it's scrapey, it's got side spin, and this is because you are laying the racket face open in the take back. So maintain the left elbow up at a 90-degree angle so that we can keep the racket face closed. And your right arm should be loose and relaxed, but straight up against your chest. Now, we've essentially coiled and we're almost, close to setting ourselves up for success on this shot. But there's a few other things that need to happen, so follow along with me to the next step. The next thing that we need to do is essentially sit in a chair and get ready to unload on the shot. So what we're going to do is let the racket loosely free fall into position, okay? I don't want to force my arm to get under the ball in this scenario. We want to actually feel like we kind of just let go with our momentum for a second and feel like we drop with the body instead. And we actually want to keep this upwards racket position, okay? You don't want to try and force it down to the ground like this and try and, wrist your topspin. That's not going to work, okay? Over time, the most consistent result is going to be dropping to the level of the ball with your body and your legs. And from here, you're going to stay sideways and swing to your contact point. And what you need to do now is make sure that you are a comfortable distance away from the ball, okay? A lot of people, they don't move their feet enough on this shot and they get too close to the ball and they end up hitting in here. So proper arm extension is going to allow you to get complete leverage over the shot. And what we want to do from this point is spread the wings, okay? Now, it's very important that at contact point, you keep your wrist up and firm. You still want to have a loose arm, but you don't want to let this drop at all because this is going to make for a flimsy and loose contact point, and it's not going to produce a lot of topspin. But if you have the racket handle up like this, you will be able to get leverage on the ball, and you want to keep this racket position fixed through all the way to the follow through, okay? Now, also transfer of body weight through your contact point. You should go heel to toe and shift from the back to the front leg. And you want to feel like you finish with your body weight leaning over your front foot, meaning the chest gets over the front foot. And once the ball has left your strings and you stay with it, then you can come up. But make sure you don't pop up too early because you're going to lose all that power that you've built up, and it's going to make for a more consistent shot and you will frame it more. So in the follow through, we want to make sure that we stay sideways and with the ball, because this shot is not like the forehand, okay? It needs to be much smaller and more compact because it's kind of an unnatural movement for your body. So what you want to do is stop with your chest, just like so. I recommend stopping the follow through here. And by consciously stopping it here, you'll actually notice that you improve your accuracy way more, and you'll actually be able to hit the ball on a straight line. You can hit it cross court, but a lot of people do this. They open up way too early, and now we're essentially using our arm to get through the ball instead of using our shoulder as a lever and exploding it off of our chest. This is the only way that you're going to get consistent power and accuracy on your backhand, is by staying with the ball longer and staying sideways. And if you notice, the best players do this, and there's a very good reason. And they're hitting so fast, so it may look like they're actually opening up, but it's not until after the ball has fully left their strings and simply their momentum is dragging them open that way. But what they're actually doing is building in the recovery step to the end of the hit, so it looks like they're opening up like this, but what they're really doing is they're finishing hitting the shot, staying sideways, and then they're immediately pushing off with their outside foot to get back to the middle and back in position for the next shot. So learning the modern one-handed backhand technique is the first step in creating a game that's very successful. Next, after that step, you want to go and learn modern tennis. And I have an online course called Modern Tennis Step by Step. And if you like what you learned here, you're going to want to go into that next, because it takes what we've learned here and builds on it and shows you how to go out into the court with power and consistency forever. So once you've practiced this, you may want to take it to the next level and go study modern tennis. And you can get started today by clicking the link down below. In any event, thanks for tuning into the program, and use what you've learned here today to modernize your game.